You know what I forgot to tell y'all last week? There was a day where, for hours, everywhere we went, something smelled horrible. And I kept bringing it up. Yo, who smells like that? What is that smell? Who left their home and didn't care about life and is just walking around ruining the vacation like this? And because it's a group of us, once we got away from other groups of people, I realized I still smelled it. So now it's one of us. It's coming from in the house. And it's all family, so I don't want to call anybody out, but the smell is horrible. I can't take it. Finally, we get some food. I go to grab fried shrimp because it'd been a long day. I go to eat it. I smell it. I smell the smell. I know it ain't me. It can't be me. And then I looked down, I figured it out. Remember I told y'all my dad went crazy on a vacation and was buying bracelets from people off the street? Well, he bought me one. And apparently it was fish vertebrae around the bracelet, and I got it wet. And the fish came alive. I was walking around smelling like fish ass, like a 4-pack of fish ass all day. I say that to say, never trust your family. Welcome to In the Moment. All right, mic check.
Yeah, hey, look, check, I'm in the moment. They try to hold me down, I just re-up and then I just reload it. Yeah, hey, look, stay in the moment. They try to hold you down, you just re-up and then you just reload it.
Episode 260. I'm riding solo today. Nate is hanging out with her daughter before she takes off. So it's a perfect opportunity for me to get back in the space of getting used to hosting the show. Sometimes solo. I'll have guests from time to time. If you've been riding with me for years, then you know that I've done this before. I don't necessarily love it, but people seem to love it. And I know there are so many people who do their show alone. And for some odd reason, it just always felt weird to me. But I think I'm in a space right now where this is actually going to work better for me. And once again, here I am doing something that's outside of my comfort zone so that I can be comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's what sets you apart in life. So with that being said, I want to start off the show. I put this at the top of the show because I just saw it this morning and it caught my attention. And it's going crazy on TikTok right now, and I can see why. There's a lady who posted a TikTok airing everybody out. Her former husband, her former friends, her former husband's friends. She's naming names. Y'all remember the DMX song? Keisha, Dawn, LaShawn. Like, she's naming names. She came out like Pac. She came out like Kendrick. And I feel her pain, because this video to me screams no good deed goes unpunished. And I think every single one of us has had a moment in life where you may have felt like everyone was turning on you. And you don't know why or where this is coming from, but you can be so great to people, and for whatever reason, they don't reciprocate that energy. And she's going through that. And she's airing everybody out. And this is an 8-minute video, y'all. And I sat there and said, I'm going to only watch 30 seconds of this, and watched all 8 minutes. So if you don't want to hear this video, then skip 8 minutes. But I doubt you'll want to skip it once she gets started.
Let's have a post-divorce crash out together. I have been holding in so fucking much. I just have to let it out. I think it's the only way I'm going to move on. My biggest frustration in divorce is the fact that, like, my husband and I were together since, we were in high school. Growing up, we always had the exact same circle of friends, right? So we've all been friends for, call it 20 plus years now, since middle school. Through my divorce, my friends apparently decided to pick sides. But I don't know. So I have a whole lot to say. I've thrown a lot of baby showers, diaper parties, wedding showers, been in multiple weddings and everything else. But yet they all seem to have forgotten that I did a lot for them. And I'm not doing this to gain praise. I'm doing this because I just want to know what the fuck I did. So I don't think I did anything. I'm going to be honest. But here's where we're going to crash out. let's just let it all out. Let everyone know how I really feel. We'll start with Big Nick, right? Hey, Big Nick, don't forget, you would be still in a trailer factory working a dead-end job, busting your ass all day, every day, and hating your life if it wasn't for me giving you a job. Just remember, you would not be part owner or whatever you and Scott have planned together without me. I'm the one that recommended you. I'm the one that spoke so highly of you that he gave you the opportunity. You started out as part-time, now you're full-time. I love that for you. I love that for your family. But you wouldn't be there without me. And like, let's not forget, I forgave you after everything you did to your wife. You know that one time you got caught sleeping with your wife's best friend, who also was your best friend's wife? Funny how that works. You just forgot about it. But I didn't. I sure as hell didn't. And then let's move on to his wife, Taylor. Taylor, you've always been kind of a bitch. I think you've always been kind of like, from my understanding, according to your husband, is a little jealous of me for whatever reason, just because your husband was like one of my best friends. And I don't get why, but like, you always gave this mean girl mentality and I just wasn't here for it. Did we have fun together sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. But like, I don't know. That's all I really have to say about you. I don't have a whole lot of beef with you. I'm going to be brutally honest. It's more so of, you completely, like, the two of you have completely abandoned me. Haven't heard word from you in over a year. And it's not a bad thing necessarily, but it sucks. So then we're going to move on to our good friend Tisha. Tisha, fuck you for encouraging me to have an affair while I was going through some of the deepest, darkest points of my life. Just because you were having an affair for 10 years with a married man doesn't mean that you should encourage other people to do the same. You are an evil person. I will stand my ground on that. You are not mentally right. And I really don't want you around my kids, to be honest, because I do not want that around my kids. And the fact that my ex-husband hangs out with you, knowing that A, you had an affair for 10 years on your husband, who is his best friend, and B, knowing that you encouraged me to have an affair. I showed him the text. He knows. He's not blind. Like, he knows. And to JT, your husband, I don't have a whole lot to say about JT. For the two of you, I hosted diaper showers, birthday parties. How many times did I come with a birthday cake? How many times did I come over for holidays and everything else? And it was all because of me. Like, Nick didn't do shit. It was all me. But you guys seem to have forgotten that. JT, I do hope the best for you. I think you're ridiculously stupid for staying with your wife. I'm going to be honest. If you want to be mistreated your whole life, that's on you. And I really do hope she gets the help she deserves. I don't really know that she deserves it, I'm going to be honest, but I really do hope she gets help, because I feel bad for those boys. They're going to be mentally fucked up too. And your boys are so sweet, and I do miss the hell out of them every single day. But again, I know you guys hate me, which is fine, because I outed your wife's affair and you didn't want anyone to know about it. But someone had to tell you. And then we're going to move on to Austin and Melissa. Again, I babysat your kids, or your child, one kid. I hosted diaper parties, baby showers, everything you guys ever needed. I was there, which you guys didn't need much, and I'm thankful for that. Like, you guys were super great friends. Melissa, I ran into you the other day and you acted like you didn't even know me. That's great. Love that for me. Especially because I considered you like one of the most realest people in our friend group. It really hurt. It sucked, but it is what it is. Austin, we've been friends since middle school. Granted, we haven't always been like the closest per se, but we've been friends for a long time. And the fact that I haven't heard from you since the one day you said like something along the lines of, I don't even remember what it was at this point, but, and then when Nick came to get his stuff and he brought an officer and everything because he's over dramatic. Yeah, you were there, and it sucked because not once did you reach out to me and say anything. Not once at all. Oh, moving back to Nick Hughes, or Big Nick, I should say. Fuck you for knowing everything you knew. That one just sits hard in my chest, especially considering the fact that you were literally my best friend. Everybody thought for sure it was going to be you and I that ended up together, like, since middle school. I mean, they called us the husband and wife in French class for a reason. Yeah, still stings. Yeah, so moral of the story is, fuck everybody. I don't know what I did to deserve any of this, and fuck my husband for having an affair. You know, Nick's never going to admit that he had an affair, but he did, with someone who I considered to be one of my best friends. And he lied to my face about it once I found out, you know, because he didn't want to hurt me, and neither did she. Well, it hurt even more to find out it was true later on, 4 years later to be exact. The fact that you could lie to me for 4 years is disgusting. Actually, let's go ahead and throw my mother-in-law in there too. and my nieces, or technically Nick's nieces and Nick's mom. Everything that was ever done for you guys, all the housework and everything we did, all the car parts we helped with, all the everything, all the money we've given you guys over the years, wasn't because of Nick. It wasn't because of Nick at all. It was because of me. You're welcome. I advocated for all you guys. I went to all your events that I could. I was there for you guys through everything. How many gymnastics meets was Nick at? How many volleyball games was Nick at? How many times did Nick go watch you cheer? None. But I was there. I was always there cheering you on. Even when I found out that those lovely nieces of mine were the one feeding my child vapes and everything else. Vapes, weed, everything. I was still there for you guys. I was still nice to you guys. But instead, you guys act like you don't even know me anymore. And it sucks. And you act like my kids don't even know you anymore. Like, that's sad. You guys have grown up as cousins, for Christ's sakes. Like, come on. And then, let's go back to my lovely husband. We're going back a lot today, because we have a whole lot to say. How do you raise a child for 16 years and then abandon him like you never even knew him? How do you do that? You raised him since he was roughly a year old, and now you act like he's never been a part of your life. Didn't even tell him happy birthday. Nothing. That's shitty. Like, that's really shitty. You have become someone that I don't even know. Like, it's honestly disgusting. And don't get me wrong, to everybody watching this, I fucked up in my marriage too. Again, I just admitted I had an affair. My husband had an affair first, but it's not a pissing contest. We both had affairs. We both fucked up in our marriage. I regret every single second of mine. I have a lot of regrets in life, but I'm working through those. But to all my friends who I've been calling my friends for the past 15, 20 years, fuck you guys. I haven't heard from any of you guys in over a year, year and a half. Every time you see me in public, you act like you don't even know me. And you don't even know my kids. And it's disgusting. And the fact that you keep Nick in your life after knowing everything is even more disgusting to me. Like, I don't even have words for it. I hope you all the best. I really do. I hope all your kids the best, because your kids are still like number one priority in my life, even though it's from afar. But the rest of you, I kind of hope you burn in hell. Okay, that might be a little harsh. I kind of hope you have a rough life. I don't want anybody dead, but I hope you have a rough life. Okay, bye.
I thought that 8 minutes was worth it. She might delete later. I might cut later. But y'all, I mean, when I tell you I was in it, I was in it. Every once in a while, you need a good air out. Let's see what some of the comments are saying. Blaming someone else because they told you to have an affair is exactly what's wrong with the world. 0% accountability. I do agree with that to an extent, because in the end, she did take accountability. She waited till the end, but she said, I obviously messed up too. Like I said, I had an affair. I regret all of it. At the same time, I understand what she's trying to say. She's not, well, at least this is how I took it. I didn't take it as she was blaming the friend. She's taking accountability, saying that's on me. I shouldn't even have been listening to you. But you can also still be mad at your friend for encouraging you to do something that you would later regret once you realize how vulnerable and how in a messed up moment you were. Your friend should have been holding it down. Girl, don't do that. You're going to regret that later. I know it feels crazy right now, but that's not going to make anything better. What are you doing? Like, that's the kind of friend she probably needed, and all she had was homegirl. What's the name? Let me go back up to the top. Probably was Tisha. I don't remember. I think it was Tisha. Was telling her, girl, go out there and get him back. A lot of us then had those friends. I know a lot of women who've had those friends, and then you regret some of those things those friends have encouraged you to do. That's not a good friend. You can take accountability for the fact you did it, and also look at the friend and think that the friend has some mental health issues. Because what's really going on with why you wanted me to go out and do that? Because misery loves company, right?
Yep.
She said the friend was doing it. So I'm out here, oh yeah, girl, I'm out here cheating. I'm sleeping with married men. Come on, get in this water with me. It's warm.
Let's do it together. Let's double date.
Smells like trying to cope with the fact that the only reason people hung with her is because of her husband. Now that they don't have to, they don't want to. Ooh. This is why I don't post my shit on the internet. Why they hit her out like that? She ain't leave no strays. Everybody got to smoke, and it was satisfying when she smoked out the mother-in-law too. I had a feeling a lot of people was going to relate to that part when she said, all right, let's get to the mother-in-law. Obviously, we would have to hear from Big Nick, from Scott, from Taylor, from Tisha, JT, Austin, and Melissa, the mother-in-law, and the nieces, because a lot of time in life, right, a wise mind will say, well, it couldn't have been everybody. Some of it had to be you. But as a person who feels like, no, sometimes it's everybody. Let me be the first to tell you. It be everybody. Sometimes it's like, yo, all of y'all have violated me, and I don't understand why this is all happening to me at the same time. And I just think so many of us has felt a storm like that, where you just feel like, fuck everybody. I want to say this to end this segment. I got a DM, and I respected it. It was about the comment I made about being upset with my friend. And I asked a lot of y'all in my stories, should I feel the way at the fact that one of my good friends, someone who I consider a really good friend, completely missed my 40th birthday? There was no text. There was no call. He was obviously not at the party. And I normally don't care. For 40 years, in fact, I haven't cared. But something about turning 40, I don't know if it's getting older, getting wiser, getting a little more sensitive, realizing your mortality. I don't know what it is. But something about it, I feel like you start to see things a little more clear, and you maybe demand things from the people that you are going to keep within your circle. Because if you cannot provide these things for me, then why are you here? And some of those things are simply just love and doing small things, small tokens of appreciation to show that you care. I heard her say, yo, I was the one doing the baby showers. I was the one getting the kids this. I heard all that. And a lot of us are that person. And it's not reciprocated. And somebody slid in my DMs and said, yo, when you reach out and tell someone happy birthday, or when you reach out and do something for somebody, you shouldn't do it because you want something back. And I told her respectfully, I agree. I don't do any of these things and expect anything back. However, you also should not expect me to continue to do these things if you are not going to reciprocate that energy in some way, shape, or form at some time. Because the same way you have the right to not do it, I also have the right to determine that this relationship is no longer suitable for me. Perfect time to remind you guys that as you are hearing this, we are a couple of days away from my show at City Winery in Atlanta, September 19th. That is this Friday. There are a couple of tickets left. I believe the show is very close to sold out. So by the time you're hearing this, it's probably even closer. If you want to get the experience of seeing me live, especially now at a time when you will have one of the times of your life, you need to get your tickets. Speaking of jokes, to close this segment, I thought this was funny, and I just wanted to read it on the show. People whose jobs require them to enter someone else's house, such as plumbers and electricians. What was the weirdest thing you've seen at a customer's house? Someone responded, my wife.
Wow.
Damn. Well, you can't top that one.
When someone comes into your home to do some work, I don't know if you put a ticket in or whatever that's called, and you're about to get in the shower, and let's say you forgot something in your room and your room is across the hall. You know, you're not expecting anybody to come in. Have you ever been caught like that? Like pretty much naked?
Oh yeah, that does happen. You have to yell. I've definitely had a few of those moments when I've had to be like, yo, I'm here. They go, oh my God. Like, yeah, because they just bang, 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 and they coming in. But no, I've never been caught like that. But I did get caught out there one time when they were cleaning the balconies. Uh-huh. And because I live on the top of the building, I normally just have my windows open because who can see it, right? I can see everybody. They can't see me. Mm-hmm. And I walked in there swinging. And there was two men on the balcony with the blinds wide open. And they looked at me as if I distracted them. Like, they looked at me like, dude, I'm like y'all on my balcony, son. Like, I deserve to be swinging. I pay rent here. You know what I mean? What?
That's awkward.
It was even more awkward when I had to walk toward them in order to close the blind. Because what do you do, right?
You didn't grab a towel, a blanket, anything?
It was in the other room. At that point, I mean, at that point, sorry. One of them ain't stopped looking either. Anyway. One. Oh,
my God.
All right. Forget it. I had the luxury of going to the Nelly and Ja Rule concert over the weekend. I wanted to tell you guys about it because I did somewhat of a sweepstakes where I did a contest and I wanted to go with a listener and a supporter. And the reason I wanted to do that because, like I told you guys, it's been a tough transition these last few weeks, and the support from you guys have just been amazing. And I am blown away. I'm overwhelmed. And I wanted to just start doing things to give back. And I felt like that was a good place to start because Live Nation always takes care of me. Shout out to Akeisha. She has become like family to me, and she's always going out of her way to look out for me. And I want to just tell her thank you. I appreciate you. And so she gave me an opportunity to go enjoy the show from a VIP suite. I had a few extra tickets. I said, why not take a supporter? And so I made a video saying, hey, all you got to do is be a Patreonizer, signed up to my Patreon, and comment under the video, adding the friend you want to go with, tell them to follow the In the Moment page, and put hashtag Go With Mo. And we had quite a few people attempt to go on the trip. And honestly, I love y'all, but y'all don't follow instructions well. Literally only one person followed those instructions. I don't know if it was a lot, but only one person got it right. So shout out to Stephanie. She ended up winning. And I just feel life has a way of when you kind of just let things play out, when you get out your own way, it just works for you. And Stephanie was the perfect winner. I'm so happy that she won for a lot of different reasons. One, she followed everything to win, so she should have won. She deserved to win. That was one of the things she mentioned as we were kicking it in the suite was like, yo, I don't know what it is. My friends be hating on me, but I just be winning, man. I just win a lot. I don't know what it is. I'm always winning. I said, yo, you got to play lotto or something. Because, but she pays attention to details. And when she wants something, she goes and she gets it and she tries. A lot of us look at things and we don't try. I won't win that. I would love to, right? I saw people comment that. Damn, I wish it could be me. It can. If you in the comments, you almost there, right? But you just think you can't. And she felt to the end like she could. And so she did. And it's like that commercial I just saw. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And she won. And she came with a friend of hers who was a huge fan of the concert. And she was a Murphy Lee fan. That's another reason I knew they were meant to be there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all are saying, who's Murphy Lee? That's my point. But shout out to to the St. Lunatics, to Nelly, to Ja. It was a great performance. I thought it was also fly that Stephanie is into boxing. They're completely into fitness because I have been trying to get back into boxing. She said she manages a gym. I told her I'm coming to the gym. I meant that. I've been looking for a gym for so long. And I just feel like God put us in that suite at that time for a reason. And the third reason I was so happy that she won and that we picked them was because, well, they don't drink. So, and I was planning to pay for that. So I was like, oh, this can't get any better. This is amazing. And honestly, y'all, they were just such a great time that I was like, I'm doing this more often. I am changing my ways. As much as y'all know, I am to myself. I am as introverted as they come. That made me want to step out and do things more, meet you guys more. I'm doing more things. If you're a Patreonizer, stay tuned. I'm going to have a lot more opportunities to meet me come up because I truly enjoyed it. And they had an amazing time. And she said it's something that they'll talk about for a long time. And I feel the same exact way. I waited for Dilemma. He gave us a dilemma because we hadn't heard it and I was still waiting for it, but we wanted to leave. But as we're leaving, of course, we get Dilemma. And also that's when, well, she said, I don't want to get in no trouble, but I'm going to just say somebody took very good care of me and got me a gift for my 40th birthday. That is one of my favorite things in the world, a bottle of 1942. She did not have to do that. I'm so appreciative. I'm so grateful. Thank you. And she told me she didn't need the tickets that I was offering her for my show and brought me a bottle as a gift. And that's my supporter, one of my biggest supporters. Meanwhile, my family, they told me to bring the bottle to the party that I was supposed to be a celebration of me, and then asked me if I had free tickets for them. And this is why I say the supporters are my family, and my family sometimes just be wanting support. I say that to say I love y'all. Moving on. By now, I'm certain you've heard the news of the shooting of Charlie Kirk, who was a podcaster, some would consider a politician in a sense. He had a very big following and some very controversial opinions. And those of you who have followed me for quite some time may realize that this entire situation hits close to home, if you will. I spoke about pieces of this, I should say, on my Patreon, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper this week on my Patreon to this specific event that I'm talking about in terms of celebrating someone's death. Now, let me give you some of the details before I give you my opinion. Charlie Kirk, to say it lightly, had some opinions that I did not agree with. And I wish Nate was here, because when we spoke about this behind the scene, she'd mentioned that before she did a little more research, she agreed with everything that she had ever heard him say. And I'm very curious to what those things were, because I've done my own research and I didn't find a video I agreed with. I'm gonna be honest. And I could have missed it. Now, he was invited to this college campus by a right-winger, and he was there to speak. There's been a bit of confusion on where he was shot. Most people believe he was shot in the neck. I also saw reports that he was actually shot in the chest. He had a vest on, and the bullet ricocheted and hit him in an artery. And then that's when you saw the graphic scene that led to his death. I want to be very clear here. I think it was cruel and gruesome to have to watch that happen, knowing his family has to do the same. Did I lose sleep? No. Did I celebrate it? No. I don't believe in celebrating anyone's death. I never have. I never will, regardless of the fact that I don't agree with their opinions. That was once my stance on a show. I think it's evil, and I think it says a lot about you to celebrate someone's death because you did not agree with their opinions. That does not mean that I defend him or anything he has said, because I do not. That also does not mean that I'm upset with people who are using their free speech to say that they did not agree with him because he used his free speech to let the people know who he did not agree with. I'll get more specific about that in a minute. But he was shot, allegedly, by a man named Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old from Utah, cisgender, Christian male, from a conservative family. I don't believe he is, but his family are registered Republicans. His dad is a sheriff. He was once Donald Trump for Halloween, not to make fun of him, to celebrate him. He's a hardcore right-winger. And, well, if we're being honest, this is a dream for the left. Here's what I'm maybe not supposed to say. I was relieved. A part of me was relieved when I found out that he was not murdered by the people that he went out of his way to speak badly about. Because what does that say? His last words were gang violence. Now, let me say this to y'all. I believe in the power of the tongue wholeheartedly. You have to be very careful what you say, what you give off into the universe, especially when you have a platform. One of the reasons I take mine so seriously, it's important. Manifestation is real. You can speak things into existence. This has been proven time and time again. This man stood for guns. That's just a fact. He once said that he believed someone else's execution, who he disagreed with, should be public, should be quick, and it should be televised. Those were his words. He spoke that. And what did we just witness? That's the power of the tongue. You can't wish these things on other people and then believe that you are now not subject to those very things. Which is why I tell y'all every week, I get a mic. Be careful with all that hating you spewing. Be careful with all the hate that you're spewing. Be careful with what you are putting your energy in. Because you can do whatever you want with your energy. You can use it to bring other people down, or you could use it to help build yourself up. What you want to use it to do? We saw what he was doing. I want to read this to y'all, a passage I came across. It says, he was killed on camera. No one's family deserves to have to witness that. It's unthinkably cruel that people would then go on the internet and use their platform to say about an innocent man, I don't care that he's dead. Quote, he's not a hero. Quote, he's a scumbag. Quote, he shouldn't be celebrated. Quote, that person is talking about George Floyd, not Charlie Kirk. Those quotes were from Charlie Kirk about George Floyd. Those are actual quotes, yo. I don't care that he's dead. He's not a hero. He's a scumbag. He shouldn't be celebrated. Now, I'm not here to argue the two wrongs make a right. No, we been knew that. I just want y'all to get the full picture of what we're talking about. Candace Owens said that she can't process this because she just lost one of her best friends. I'd be remiss if I pretended to not see the irony in a black woman saying she can't process this when Charlie Kirk said that black women can't process anything. I'd imagine he wouldn't be surprised. These are his quotes. If a black person were flying the plane, he'd have doubts about being on the plane. Is that accurate?
The actual quote is, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. That was on January 23rd, 2024. He went on to say, if I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder if she's there because of her excellence or is she there because of affirmative action? Also January 2024. If you're a WNBA, pot-smoking, black lesbian, do you get treated better than a United States Marine? Reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge. This was discussing the news of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's engagement on his show on August 26, 2025.
You have hated people who have said much less. But I digress. He took over a professor's watch list that was once started by David Horowitz. It encourages the harassment, doxing, and the firing of a ton of black, mostly black, professors across the country. The Yankees, the New York Yankees, had a memorial for this man. The Dallas Cowboys had a memorial for this man. I'm from New York. Y'all know how many kids have died in the Bronx? The Yankees have said nothing. It's a little confusing to me. Jerry Jones said that there's no room for politics in the NFL or in the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all remember when Colin Kaepernick took a knee? Some of y'all are going to say, Mo, he took a knee, though. He wasn't murdered. But he was taking a knee for people who were murdered. They said there was no room for it. There seems to be plenty of room now. I'm just asking why. I think it's one thing to not celebrate a man's death when you don't agree with his opinions. I think that's what someone with honor and respect would do. I also think you don't have to treat him like a martyr or some kind of hero. Speaking of that, I'm not here to shit on anybody's version of MLK, if that's how you feel. I saw a lot of adults, a lot of grown men crying to where snot was coming out of their noses. I'm talking about crying. I ain't seen them cry for these kids not one time like that. You know how many innocent kids have been murdered? It looks funny in the light to me. What else looked funny in the light was that time where I stood on business because I saw a room of people celebrating that someone died. If you didn't see it then, do you see it now? Because the individual whose death they celebrated, though he wasn't murdered, he had a family. And honestly, he was speaking to his own people. He wasn't speaking to everybody. He was speaking to his own. And yet there were people who were not in that community who were coming over to say, yes, I'm glad he's dead. Why? Because you didn't agree with him? Because he had opinions that maybe triggered you? So should I now be doing the same thing? This man certainly had opinions that triggered me. I ain't did one dance. I ain't dug it. None of that. Why would I? It's nasty work. You've never had an opinion people didn't agree with? Never, right? Not you. You perfect. I know it comes with this space of being a public figure, of having strong opinions. I'm sure there's going to be people who hate me for this one. It's a part of the game. But when they go low, there are times when I limbo, not this one. Because death, we don't control. There's a higher power who determines that. And we don't all go when we deserve to. And we don't all know each other's real stories and struggles behind the scenes. And his kids didn't deserve to see that no matter what he said. That, again, does not mean that I'm going to sit here and pretend like I didn't disagree with absolutely pretty much everything the man stood for. But I also stand for something. And I wondered if those same people who celebrated that man's death because they didn't agree with his opinions, if they got on air and did the same thing this time, or did they, one, treat him like he was some kind of hero, or two, simply leave it at, I don't agree with his opinions, I'll move on. I bet on Terrence Crawford, and I know who I'd bet on this one. Y'all don't think that looked funny in the light? What's the difference? But it appears that all those years ago, what I was attempting to say, all of a sudden is much clearer now. The universe is harsh to us all. Keep that in mind when judging others. Heartbreaking news. Cam Hayward from the Pittsburgh Steelers says that he has not made enough money for his family and needs a new deal. His quote was, "This is a business. I cannot play this game forever. I want to be maximized outside of the field." Currently, he's only earned $145 million so far. Hey, Cam. Hey, shut your ass up, man. Hey, I'm sorry. Enough. Yo, you've made $145 million.
How is that not enough?
How is it not enough? This reminds me of when we watched the Canelo Crawford fight and they had the boxing documentary and Canelo's kids was wearing Balenciaga t-shirts eating ice cream.
Listen.
That's how you run through $145 million. A morgue worker stole human testicles from corpse to help her win the homemade spaghetti sauce contest. Did she win? No, we have to know, because this was ballsy. For real, did you steal from the morgue for your spaghetti? I've heard about putting your foot in it. I never heard of putting testes in it. This is this woman's mugshot. If you're watching it with me, this is what she looks like. That would be one spicy meatball. I can promise you that. She is making bolognese sauce, ain't she? That's not bolognese. All right. That's disgusting. I don't know what y'all want me to say about this.
That's why you shouldn't eat out.
I have 4 names here. For those of you who are watching this with me, I'm going to put it on the screen for you. Shout out to the Patreonizers. Hey. For the rest of you guys, I'm going to spell it out for you so you can hear it. I saw a video of this. It was nurses, and they were asked, what were some of the wildest names you have seen come into the hospital? And these were the 4 names that they came up with. So I'm going to put them on the screen, and I want you guys to guess what you think this name is. And then I'm going to spell it for my audio listeners, and you guys tell me the same. All right, here's the first name. S, 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 S. That's your guess?
That's my guess.
That is wrong.
What is it then?
The correct answer is Forest.
What? Where?
Forest. It's 4 S's. Forest.
What?
Forest.
How is that forest?
Because but it's 4 of them. So it's Forest. First of all, don't talk to me like I named the child. I'm just telling you what the mother said. Forest. Okay?
How do you pronounce that in Spanish? Because how do you say S
Forest.
in Spanish?
The second name is L-A-A. What's the name?
La Dasha?
You got it!
Stop.
That's LaDasha.
No way. What
Yes. LaDasha. All right. The third name is A-B-C-D-E. That's the name. What name is that?
Absidy.
Absidy. Close enough. We'll take it.
What is it?
It's Absidy. That's her name.
For real?
Yes, her name is Absidy. Killing this right now. I didn't think you were gonna be this good. You crushing. All right.
Stop. No way.
The last name is capital V A capital G I N A. What's the name?
Gina.
Close enough again. We'll take it. It's Vagina.
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 Who the names their kid Vagina?
Someone that needs some serious therapy.
If you had to pick one of the 4 for your child, which one would you go with? I think I would go with Absidy.
I would go with Absidy too. Yep. All right, last one for the week. According to astrology, these are the distress signals for your zodiac sign. A Leo hiding their face in selfies. That's true. A Capricorn with no savings. That one hit close to home. A Taurus making a struggle meal.
Yeah, that's my sister. My sister doesn't cook.
Damn. The problem's coming from in the house. A Libra being bitchy. Kind of used to that one. A homebody Sag. A Gemini not asking questions. I would think the distress signal would be if the Gemini wasn't also answering them. A Cancer skipping meals. A stagnant Aries. A Virgo. No, that's just it. Just a Virgo. Yeah, it's actually funny. Wait, why are we in distress just for being ourselves? Yo, y'all play too much with these lists. Leave Virgos alone. That's hilarious. This is funny. An Aquarius with no friends. Well, I know one who just lost one. A dominant Pisces. Yeah, because if a Pisces can make a decision or choose a side or stand on something, a Scorpio not celebrating their birthday. Or anything that involves them. All right, that's it. We're moving on. If you're looking for something to watch, I got something for y'all. And it's not because I think it was so amazing. It's because I think it was literally insane. It is called Unknown Number, The Catfish Story. It's on Netflix. This is nuts. If you are going to watch it, fast forward about 60 seconds because I'm going to give the breakdown. So there are these high school students. They're getting text messages. And they're abusive as hell. Like, they're horrible, disgusting. Every day, they're just coming in. You're ugly. Why would you do that? You slut. You guess it, right? They don't know who it's coming from. The whole time I'm thinking, why won't they just change the number? They never change the number. They make a whole thing of it. Wow, it's so much to change the number. No, it's not. If you're getting these messages every single day and you don't know where they're coming from. You know why, y'all? The messages were coming from the poor young lady's mother.
Oh, my God.
Her own mother was sending her these messages. Cops figured it out. The cops are in the house. They called her dad. Like, yo, we think your wife hasn't had a job for a while, and she been sending your daughter these wild messages. The dad go, you ain't had a job. He couldn't even focus on the fact that the mom was sending all these abusive messages. He like, why you ain't tell me you ain't had a job? He told the cops, hey, y'all go ahead and escort her out for something happened, man. Hey, I'm just telling y'all I was about, go ahead, take her.
Let's
do
get
what y'all
ahead
got
of
to. Yeah. Yo, this story is crazy. It was the mom the whole time. And then the mom is on the Netflix show like she not the criminal in the situation. Like she the victim. She giving her side of the story. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching because it's nuts, if no other reason. Now, I've told y'all time and time again that people always say the most important investment you'll ever make in your life is your house. It's your spouse. I'll give you two different examples. Brandon Aubrey is the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, y'all know whenever I bring sports into the podcast, it's not because I'm about to talk about sports or I'm about to brag on how my Dallas Cowboys won and it felt so amazing because finally we did not end up being the losers at the end of a week. It's bigger than that, y'all. I promise. Now, while it felt great to finally see memes that did not include the Dallas Cowboys losing, but doing things like this. We haven't had that as a Dallas Cowboys community for a long time, y'all. But the bigger picture in all of this is Brandon Aubrey, the kicker. The reason I bring this man up, because the last few seasons, he's been, if not our best player, top three. And typically, it's not a flex when your kicker is your best player. You don't want to turn Madden on and it says your top three prospects. One of them is the kicker. In this case, though, it's pretty cool. Why? The man is kicking from 60 like it's nothing. There was a time when kicking it from 50 was incredibly impressive. He does that in his sleep. And the reason it's so magical is because there was a time when he decided to stop playing soccer and he became a software engineer. But he still had that hunger and he knew that there was something deeper. And so he's watching the NFL with his wife and he's watching the game and he says, yo, I could have made that kick. And his wife says to him, then go do it. I got chills just saying that. Because I don't think enough people realize the importance in that moment right there. Then go do it. A lot of y'all picked a partner that wouldn't have said that. Let's just be honest. Some of y'all picked a partner that would have said, man, yo, take your ass and get in front of the computer. What are you talking about? You still trying to relive those glory days? It's over. If you were meant to make it, you would have made it. We got kids. We got things going on. Laundry has to be done. Stop dreaming and go get back in front of the computer. His wife didn't say that. His wife said, then what are we waiting for? His wife inspired him. I don't know about y'all, but when you got your partner and you love your partner and they support you and they behind you 1,000%, it hit different. He began training with a kicking coach. He was eventually drafted in the USFL by the Birmingham Stallions. He got busy. So much so that eventually the Dallas Cowboys reached out. And now, fast forward, he just beat the Giants. And all the Dallas Cowboys celebrated him because everybody knew, as CeeDee Lamb stated, all we got to do is get to the star. And we got a star that's taking us the rest of the way. And he has been, in my opinion, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Cowboys fan, this is just true, one of the best kickers of all time. No one's ever kicked like this. And I watch him celebrate with his team and win games for the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, the greatest football team ever brought to man, some would say. I just find it so amazing that he is doing all of this because his wife said, go do it. The house that they could have bought off the software engineer check, which is great, is a little different than the house that they could buy off possibly the greatest kicker of all times check. It's a different house. How different can your life really look? If you got someone in your corner that's sucking the energy out of you, not in a good way, or pumping the energy in you, look at the difference it makes. I'm just kicking it to you. Somebody get that. And I say that to say this, because here's what the other side of it can look like. In full transparency with y'all, I got a phone call from one of my homeboys, whom I love dearly. And I'm only sharing this because he's allowed me to. He said, yo, feel free. And I won't go into the details of his story until next week because I really want to think about how I want to share it. But he called me and he said a lot, told me what he was going through. And I understand exactly where he's coming from. It's actually very easy for me to take his side of it and express to y'all his struggles. But I want to kind of switch it up before I do that. And I actually want to take myself on her side of it for a second. And there's a reason. A lot of time as I listen to my friends and my families and my listeners and my supporters and the people who reach out to me for advice, a lot of time, the communication that's happening between two people when they just can't seem to get it right, there's usually one person that's on the side of, let's just make this work. I don't know why this is so hard. Why do we have to complicate it and get so many different people involved? There's that other person that everybody looks and sees the wild card. Clearly, this person is the one that's the quote-unquote issue. A lot of time what's happening there, and this is not for me to make excuses of it. This is just me giving you my perspective of it. That person is too far gone to speak without speaking through the filter of pain and resentment. Whatever that pain and resentment may be. And I think a lot of us struggle with that. Now, I am going to be honest with y'all. I've never truly had that level of resentment or pain from someone leaving me or walking out on me or cheating on me or anything of that nature. But I have had it from someone walking in to my life. And I'm saying this to say, everybody thinks they're the hero in their own story. And everybody will present a story that says to you that they're not the issue. And I don't know who I'm speaking to, but I know I'm speaking to someone. It's okay to be the issue. It's okay to be the problem. Because that's all of us at some point. It's not okay to stay there. You have to let it go. I know it's hard. I know people have told you this before. I know you've told yourself this. Because sometimes letting it go is one of the hardest things that we're ever going to do. Because you're holding on to what you see or what you saw or what you felt should have been. And you look at this person who deep down you love more than you'll probably love anyone else. Or at least you do now. You don't want to admit that hurts because you had a different view of how this relationship was supposed to go and work. I don't know what they did. They did something that you look at them and you're like, how? How could you mess this up? You chose a road more traveled than choosing the road less traveled because you didn't realize the specialness of what we could have built. I saw a family. I saw love. I saw this, but maybe they saw something different. Maybe they left. Maybe they cheated. Whatever it is they did. Maybe they hurt you intentionally. Maybe they hurt you unintentionally. I don't know. But I know you still hold it. It hurts deep because you can't understand. Why would you do that? Why would you choose that path? How could you not see what I see? How could you be so selfish? How could you be so blind? Isn't that what they say love is? And sometimes that pain, that resentment is deep. Of even if you didn't mean to do it, you hurt me in a way you can never make up for it. And because my vision of what should have been and could have been is so vivid in my mind that you deserve no good for making decisions that clearly jeopardize that and getting nothing out of it. And all I get in the end is I'm sorry. And that ain't good enough. And you carry it. And now whether y'all need to communicate about each other, the kids, whatever it is, you can't speak to this person outside of that filter of that pain that you're reminded of every day because your life would look so much different if they had not made those foolish ass decisions that they did. I get it. I completely get it. Maybe not for the reasons you do, but I get it. And you gotta let it go for you. And this is another point into why I believe choosing the right partner is so important. Because do they force you to have to let things go? Or do they force you to go have to pick things up? You decide. Be careful who you kick it with. I saw a quote on Twitter, and it was about being lazy. Some of us don't reach our goals. Some of us don't fulfill our purpose. And you don't want to know the truth, but the hard truth is maybe you're lazy. And that's okay, because I've certainly had my lazy moments. But this dude said something that I thought it was real. It was a video. Maybe I'll post it in Patreon, but it's a long video, and all he's saying is maybe you're lazy because you can't shift your mindset. What if you've never heard that? Maybe you're lazy because you're always thinking about the work that has to be done as opposed to the results that will come from it. Think about women who have kids. From what I heard, that labor feels like, I don't know why the hell they have multiple kids. Why don't you stop at one? Why? Because they're not thinking about the pain. They're thinking about the result, the family, the child. It's worth it. That's why you have 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids. With that level of pain, who would want to do that again? You're thinking about the results. You have to have that same mindset for when you go to the gym, for when you go to work, for when you work on yourself. Sometimes your only closure is knowing that you had a good heart and good intentions. I'll leave you with this passage. Maybe the happy ending is finding yourself, raising your standards, choosing to grow from the experience, getting to decide what happens next, making new connections, becoming a higher version of yourself, moving on, realizing that you deserve better, learning how to accept things as they are and not how you think they should be, healing parts of yourself that you didn't realize needed healing, knowing that more is already on its way, trusting that what's meant for you will never pass you. sometime. That's all the closure you need. I love y'all. Thank you for joining me again this week. I know what time it is. Next week, bitches.
Girl, I wanna knock your socks off, make you my convertible.